Today sees the return of an old favourite here on the channel. It's time to run Magcargo through Pokémon Yellow. Now, last time we saw Magcargo in a pre-recorded solo challenge was back in August 2022. Now, when we ran it last time, it did end up in last place, and actually remained in last place for 50 challenges, before Shuckle dethroned it almost exactly a year later. We'll have to see if something similar happens to Magcargo in this generation. We'll start off by taking a look at our stats. We have 20 HP at level 5, we've got 10 in attack, 10 in defense, just 8 in speed, 10 also in special, and our only move is Smog. So let's now get the graphics up and the challenge underway, and our first battle is of course with the rival. He's got Eevee to begin with, and honestly I don't think this battle is winnable. Combine a terrible move like Smog with Eevee's Tail Whip into tackle and we get knocked out. Fortunately that doesn't count as a reset for the challenge because it's one of the ways to change what the rival gets, and we'll now see our very first encounter with a wild Pokemon. In this instance it's a level 3 Pidgey, and I'm very sad to say we weren't able to knock this thing out. In a very rare turn of events, we got knocked out by a wild Pokemon. I really hope that isn't an omen of things to come in this particular challenge. We'll try again because we do need to get the levels, and on our second attempt against a level 3 Pidgey we do much better. We knock it out and we can start heading north towards the Viridian Forest. Now in the forest we're going to be beating up a lot of Cocoon Pokemon. They cannot attack us whatsoever, especially in Generation 1 where their PP will never deplete. And that gives us as many free turns as we need to knock out the Pokemon. We're on to Struggle as we grow to level 8, where we finally learn Ember, and then we'll start making our way towards Pewter City. We're still going to be in a bit of a dire strait, even with a special move in our learn set, but at least it's better than Smog. Smog is an all-round terrible move to have. We grow up all the way to level 12 as we enter into Pewter City's gym, and this is our first gym leader together. This is Brock, a rock-type specialist who leads with Geodude. We've got Ember, it's going to be resisted, but it really is the best we have. One of the upsides of Ember is that it does have the chance to burn, and burning the Geodude means Brock will use his full heal. The same thing would happen with the Onix if we do burn it, but as it stands, we don't actually get any burns off whatsoever. We get very lucky with Brock's terrible AI though, and we get through on our first attempt in around about 10 minutes and 24 seconds. Let's now take a trip east towards Route 3 where we're going to be going through Mount Moon. On our way there we beat up a few trainers including this Bugcatcher, and it's against this Bugcatcher we grow to level 15 and learn Rock Throw. Rock Throw isn't a good move, it's only 65% accuracy in Generation 1, but it's still a welcome addition to the learn set. We will get Stab on it a little bit later on. And once we make it through Mount Moon, we're going to beeline straight for rival number 2. Now I do just want to say I did attempt a couple of times using Rock Throw against this Spearow, but Ember turned out to be more consistent, and it's not going to be a spoiler here to say that we don't make it through on our first attempt. Really, there was not much we could do, especially when we only survived on 1 HP for the rat. So we're going to have to go back to our favourite patch of grass here on Route 4, and we're going to get some levels. It's courtesy of this level 9 Mankey that we end up growing to level 21, so we'll try again now and see if we make any progress whatsoever. I think this might be one of those battles where we just have to luck through, honestly. So we'll engage him in battle again and we'll see what happens this time. We're going for Ember and it's still going to be a 3-shot, but we take another reset when the Spearow gets the Generation 1 multi-hit critical hit. This time we high roll with Rock Throw on turn 1 and we finish it off on turn 2 with Ember. A couple of Embers knocks out the Sandshrew and we're in a much better place now for the Rattata. We survive on 29 HP as Eevee comes out to play. We get the burn off on Eevee, which reduces its physical attack. That gives us the win condition we need to get through Rival 2. And we can now start heading north, traversing Nugget Bridge. It's against one of the trainers on Nugget Bridge. We grow to level 22. And at level 22, we're going to get our next move. We're finally going to have a full learn set, and this one is Harden. Harden, of course, is a multifaceted move in Generation 1. Not only will it increase our physical defense, it will also activate the badge boost glitch. We're going to be seeing another status move like that in just a moment, because for now we are skipping Misty entirely. There's no way in heck we're going to be getting through at the moment, and instead we're going to take on some of the trainers around Vermilion City. And it's against one of the engineers on Route 11 that we grow to level 29. At level 29 we're going to say goodbye to Smog. It served us fairly well for the first part of the challenge, and in its place we're getting Amnesia. Amnesia is one of the most powerful moves in Generation 1 because it boosts both your special attack and your special defense, and that will come in incredibly handy for the Misty battle. So we'll now make our way back to Cerulean City, picking up the bike en route, and we'll take on Misty. She is our second gym leader together. She's a water-type specialist who leads with Staryu. We're going to set up Amnesia quick, sharp and in a hurry here. We have no business at all being in a water gym with Slugma, so we are going to try our absolute best. It's 2 shots with triple Amnesia on the Staryu. Starmie comes out to play and Misty uses an X defend. That's what we need to get through first try. We obtain our second badge in 39 minutes and 26 seconds. Goodness me, that's one of the longest second badge splits we've seen in quite some time. Now we're going to make our way back to Vermilion City now and get on the SS Anne. We're also going to be saying goodbye to Harden. Harden's a very good move in Generation 1, but I think Body Slam is going to be much more advantageous to us in the long term. We still have Amnesia on the learn set to activate the badge boost glitch, and we're going to start off with that straight away against Rival 3. We'll get ourselves up to a very high 172 in special, and then we'll try to sweep. And at that number, there's nothing that can stop us. We get through Rival 3 very, very easily, and we'll have a little chat with the captain of the SS Anne. He's going to tell us that he's feeling sick, so maybe he should look at a new career. I'm not sure there. But anyway, we do get the cut HM from him, and that means we can enter into our third gym together. This is going to be Lieutenant Surge's electric gym, and as always, what we will do is we will pause the timer for the trash can puzzle, and then we will get on to actually facing Surge. We get through at around about 44 minutes to engage him in battle. We'll have to see how it gets on. Now this battle shows that our lack of speed is going to be crippling for us throughout the course of this challenge. We try to set up against the Raichu, but Thunderbolt hits like a truck. So we'll try again, and this time Surge doesn't use an attacking move on turn 1. That gives us a bit of an in that we need to set up an Amnesia, and we get through in our second attempt in 44 minutes and 30 seconds. We just needed that little bit of RNG there. And with that badge in hand, we'll head through Rock Tunnel, and we'll come out the other side and go into the Lavender Tower, where we've got another rival battle waiting for us. And once again, we're going to set up and we are going to sweep. Hopefully we don't get hit too hard by this Sphero, and we really don't mind if it uses Growl. We are going to be going purely for special attack, barring against this Vulpix. Vulpix is 2-shot with Rock Throw, both of them hit, and we'll swap back to Ember for the Magnemite. We'll Ember the Sandshrew, it goes down in 1, we'll Ember the Eevee, it survives on 1 HP, and we knock it out on our very next turn. Another simple rival battle in 52 minutes and 4 seconds, and now we'll do a quick cycle west all the way over to Celadon City. There's a lot to do in Celadon City. We've got the whole rocket plotline, we've got to pick up Fly as well as battling Erica. And because Erica is a grass type specialist, we'll do that first. And it's against one of the lasses in Erica's gym that we're going to grow up to level 36. At level 36 we're going to get a big upgrade on our fire type move, because we're going to be saying goodbye to Ember and hello to Flamethrower in its place. That is more than double the power and just in time as well, because Erica is our next battle. She's going to lead with Tangela that uses Bind straight away. But I think if we can survive the Tangela, we've got a very good shout of getting through the rest of her Pokémon. We get the double bind here to waste a little bit of time, but we're still over half HP as Weeping Bell comes out to play. It's going to be a couple of flamethrowers against the Weeping Bell. Gloom's the last Pokémon. Acid takes us all the way down to 2 HP, but we survive, we grow to 38, and at 38 is goodbye to Slugma and hello to Magcargo in its place. So that is Erica's badge in 56 minutes and 10 seconds. Let's now head into the department store where we're going to get a fresh TM. This TM is going to contain Rock Slide, which we learn at level 48. But if we get the opportunity, we might as well get it 10 levels sooner. It's a huge upgrade in accuracy over Rock Throw, so we're going to teach it straight away in place of Rock Throw. Even though we're losing 5 PP here, I think that's nothing compared to the big upgrade in accuracy. And with that, it's time to head into the game corner where we're going to face our pair of idiots once again. It's Jesse and James time, they're not going to be a threat. So while we're battling them, I do just want to take this opportunity to say I really am enjoying my time in yellow at the moment. And I am looking forward to seeing, especially with the grass type, significant improvements in our times compared to in Generation 2. But now that we're through Jesse and James, let's take on the boss of Team Rocket for the first time. This is of course Giovanni. He's got an Onyx to begin with, but we've got Amnesia and Flamethrower, so it really isn't going to be much of an issue at all in this battle. Rhyhorn goes down in one, much like the Onyx. We don't get flinched by Bite, we knock out the Persian, and we are through Giovanni for the first time. We'll grab the Sylph Scope, and now we've got to backtrack all the way over to Lavender Town. We'll ascend the Pokemon Tower, and look who's back, it's these two again. They really haven't got the message, have they? So we're just going to have to ignite all of their team. We're not even going to bother using Amnesia against these two, there's absolutely no need. We will just set fire to everything, we'll body slam the Weezing at the end. We say goodbye to them, and now we chat with Mr. Fuji. He tells us that he came here of his own accord, but I'm not too sure about that. I think he was coaxed into it by Team Rocket. We'll have to do some investigations later. In the meantime, it's back over to Celadon, where we're going to wake up Snorlax once and for all, and we'll be able to make our way into Fuchsia City. Now, I did try using Cut against the Snorlax first of all, but he didn't seem to appreciate that. We wake him up with the Pokeflute, and we're going to get through in just 2 shots. That is the bear unblocking the way once and for all, and once we're down Cycling Road, we're going to go straight into Koga's gym. Koga is of course going to be our 5th gym leader together. He's a poison type specialist, but luckily for us, all of his poison type Pokemon are also the bug type. For some reason in Pokemon Yellow, Koga loves the Venonat line, we're not going to complain. It's a 1-shot against all 3 Venonats, and it's going to be a 2-shot against the Venomoth, and that proves to be an incredibly simple Koga battle. Time of 1 hour 8 minutes and 41 seconds for the Marsh Badge. Let's now get out of here, we'll pick up Surf and Strength along the way, and we'll head into Silphco where we've got another rival battle waiting for us. And this time he's going to lead with Sandslash. We're going to do exactly the same as we have done against all of the previous rival battles. We're going to set up Amnesia and then we're going to try and sweep. We one-shot the Sandslash, we one-shot Magneton, and out comes Ninetales. Fortunately for us, Ninetales is still a 2-shot with Flamethrower, Psybeam barely tickles us with Kadabra, and here comes Vaporeon. Water Gun's 4 times super effective, but courtesy of all those Amnesia, it barely tickles us at all. We get through the rival on our first try in 1 hour 11 minutes and 36 seconds, and we get ourselves Lapras. Lapras is going to help us get over to Cinnabar Island in just a moment, but first we've got to take care of more Team Rocket shenanigans. And now we've got a little bit of time to chat while we're dealing with Team Rocket in the background. I want to give you a quick update on what's going to be happening on the channel in the next little while. The plan is still on for doing our Generation 2 backports in yellow. We're still going to be seeing our Generation 2 backports as well. Once every month or so, we're going to cross off another one of our main series challenges in Crystal. And the focus for streams at the moment is going to be on backports in Crystal, like it has been for a little while now. But once we're a little bit more established in yellow, we're going to start running through the same backports, but in red or blue as well. Because those 2 games are significantly different to yellow. I think we're going to see some Pokemon that had a very easy ride through yellow struggle in red and blue. And also the opposite might be true as well. Any Pokemon that struggle in yellow might have a breeze through red and blue. We'll have to see over the course of the next few weeks and months how that pans out, but for now we're going to take on Sabrina. She is our 6th gym leader together, a psychic type specialist who leads with Abra. And the plan here is to just hope that we don't get enough accuracy drops to miss all of our moves. Our defense is high enough to survive anything that she throws at us, as long as Flamethrower hits enough times, which is exactly what it does in the first attempt. We get our 6th gym badge in 1 hour 14 minutes and 4 seconds. Let's now take the trip south from Pallet Town over to Cinnabar Island, where we're going to face our 7th gym leader. Now, our 7th gym leader is Blaine. Blaine is of course a fire-type specialist, much like us. He actually has a Magcargo in Generation 2, and he's going to lead with Ninetales. Now we're going to set up an Amnesia just to make sure our defences are fairly high. So we'll start off with a body slam against the Ninetales to try and lower its speed. It didn't get the paralysis off though. We finish it off with Rock Slide, and then we're going to Rock Slide the Rapidash as well. As much as I would love to Rock Slide Arcanine, unfortunately a Reflect has been set up. So we're going to pivot back to Flamethrower, and our Flamethrower is far better than his. We knock it out in just a few shots, and we obtain the Volcano Badge in 1 hour, 18 minutes and 16 seconds. Now, it's not unfair to say that we've had a very simple mid-portion of the challenge here with Magcargo, but that is all about to change. We're coming up against Giovanni once again, and this time he's going to lead with Dugtrio, and that is disastrous for us. Dugtrio outspeeds us, and it will also one-shot us with Earthquake. We get through the Dugtrio on our first attempt against Blaine, but then it all goes wrong courtesy of Nidoqueen, and that really is about as far as we made it for quite some time. We try setting up Amnesia to get the badge boost going, but it just wasn't working. So we have no choice but to grind. And while we're doing our levelling up, I want to mention a bit of an elephant in the room, and that is Harden. Harden would have been a fantastic move for this gym battle. It really would have helped us get through a little bit quicker. However, Harden would not have been good for any of the other battles we have faced in the middle portion of the challenge. And I always think it's worth having extra coverage over holding onto a move that you're going to be using in one key battle alone. I would much rather have the smoother ride throughout the larger chunk of the challenge, and then take a little bit of a trickier battle for that one place where that move would have been handy. So we'll now re-engage Giovanni in battle now that we're level 51, and we'll see what happens this time. We survive Earthquake on 2, but that's still not good enough, so we'll take a reset. He uses a guard spec and we get the burn. That burn was fantastic. It means we can survive whatever Persian throws at us, and we can finish off setting up here. And when you combine Amnesia with the badge boost glitch, we now have enough speed and special to sweep the rest of Giovanni's team here. There's nothing he can do, it's all over, and we get our final badge in 1 hour, 29 minutes and 38 seconds. Let's start making our way towards the Pokémon League. Of course, before we get into Victory Road, we're going to get ambushed by the rival for one last time, and this time he's going to lead with Sandslash. And this is definitely the hardest battle we have seen so far with Magcargo in yellow. We're fine for most of the rivals' Pokémon, however that Vaporeon is a real thorn in our side. And this battle is the beginning of an on-running theme in the latter part of this challenge. Hydro Pump becomes our Achilles heel. It might have fairly low accuracy, however it just keeps on hitting. It doesn't matter how many times we reset, we just cannot seem to get Hydro Pump to miss. And with Magcargo being 4 times weak to Hydro Pump, when it lands it's going to take a huge chunk of our HP off. It doesn't matter how high our special is, Hydro Pump will still hit like an absolute truck. Because you've got to remember that while Amnesia gets our special into the 500s, we are still working with a 50 in base stat for HP. So that means we don't have a buffer to take those hits. And time again, when we got to the Vaporeon, it was the same situation. Hydro Pump would hit us and it would knock us out. I tried doing a full setup this time against the Sandslash. That gets us up to 562 in our special, and we are just going to hope for the best once more. We know that the only Pokemon we are really facing is that pesky Vaporeon. Hydro Pump hits takes us down to 47, but then it misses. That gives us the in we need to knock it out, and we are finally through the rival. But our troubles won't end there. We do have 3 trainers that have Hydro Pump on their learn set in some capacity, and all 3 of them are setting out to ruin our day. Of course, before we do that, we will thank the HM friends. So it's a big thank you to Kenya, to Abra, to Lapras, and merci to Paris. We'll buy our 4 full restores, which we'll either need or we won't, and then we will head straight into the Pokemon League. This is going to be tricky, so we're setting down a hard save in front of Lorelei. She is our first Elite Four member. She's an Ice-type specialist who leads with Dugong. And this is one of those battles where we're relying on Lorelei's AI. We are hoping that she'll go for the wrong move. She went for rest on turn 1 with Dugong there, and she rests again. That gives us a chance to set up an Amnesia. That means that Flamethrower is going to one-shot Dugong, it then one-shots the Cloyster, and out comes Slowbro. Slowbro takes us all the way down to 69 HP with Surf. We finish it off, here comes Jinx, and Ice Punch knocks us out. We're going to use 2 of our rare candies now to get ourselves up to level 55. So let's now see if we do any better this time. It's still a 2-shot on Dugong after an amnesia, but we survive on 123 HP. We outspeed Cloyster and we knock it out in 1. Slowbro goes for withdrawal this time, that means we're on 123 for the Jinx. Ice Punch barely tickles us as we one-shot her back. Lapras comes out to play, Hydro Pump hits, and we're back to square one. You see what I mean? Hydro Pump really is the thorn in our side in this particular challenge. So we have two options for this Lapras. Either Hydro Pump misses, or we get a very, very lucky one-shot. We'll see what happens in this particular attempt. Jinx is going to be a one-shot with Flamethrower. She's got no defense whatsoever. Here it comes, and we outspeed on one-shot. That was incredibly satisfying, and it means we can move on to Bruno. Now, on paper, this should be a very tricky battle. He's got a pair of Onyx, and both of Onyx's types are super effective against us. But we know what Bruno's like. He doesn't play to win. He plays to show off all of his different moves, and we are going to take full advantage of that. That means we can just set up and sweep, and we get through first try. And that brings us on to Agatha, and this battle is a fairly simple affair. The worst thing she can do is send us to sleep and Dream Eat us, but even then we should have enough in our special to survive the Dream Eater. Mega Drain does next to nothing at all as she sends out her Haunter. Lick doesn't paralyse us and we are on to Arbok. Arbok hits us with Acid, it barely tickles us, and the last Pokemon is the level 60 Gengar. We get sent to sleep, but it's a very short nap, and that means we can finish it off with a Flamethrower, and we move on to Lance at a time of 1:42.05. Now Lance is going to be another one of those trainers with Hydro Pump. This is going to be very difficult. The first Hydro Pump misses, but I tell you what, that's the only Hydro Pump we will see miss for a very, very long time. So the first thing we'll do is use a couple of rare candies, and then we've just got to hope for the best. But time and time again, Hydro Pump was knocking us out. We eventually get another Hydro Pump miss, and we go straight onto Body Slam. I was hoping that a combination of Body Slam and Rock Slide would two-shot, and thank goodness Hydro Pump missed again. We can then set up another Amnesia against the Dragonair. We'll use Flamethrower. It's resisted, but we knock them both out in one shot. Aerodactyl comes out to play. Swift barely tickles us, and we finish it off with a Flamethrower. Blizzard takes us down to 3. Thunder misses, and we are through the last Dragonite. And that's it. We're through the Pokemon League. However, that is not the end of the challenge. We have our rival punctuation for one last battle. And disaster strikes from the very beginning. Sandslash outspeeds us, and Earthquake is a one-shot. As a bit of a Hail Mary, I decided to use our last 2 rare candies, and in what felt like an absolute miracle, we now outspeed Sandslash. We are going to have to rely on a lot of luck for this battle, even outspeeding it, but that does give us a slight glimmer of hope. We get through the Sandslash and we start setting up against the Alakazam. We knock it out and Exeggutor's going to be no issue, even with the confusion. We knock it out in a single Flamethrower and here comes Ninetales. We get confused once more and the RNG doesn't go our way. We keep hitting ourselves in confusion. When we finally land a hit, we knock it out in 1. Same thing happens for Magneton, and then worst case scenario against the Vaporeon. We critical hit. And in Generation 1, critical hits ignore your buffs. So that meant we got knocked out by Hydro Pump once again. And we are back to square one. And we did not have that same luck getting to Vaporeon for a very long time. We would just get walled by something else in his team. Be it a Confuse Ray and knocking ourselves out in confusion. Be it Sandslash not playing ball whatsoever. There was nothing we could do. We try and get the full paralysis off on the Sandslash to survive on full health. When we get through the Sandslash, of course Psychic is going to lower our special, why wouldn't it? We get crit by the Alakazam as well, and the wheels fall off once more. And as the battle continues, our chances of winning get smaller and smaller, until once again we knock ourselves out with confusion. We just have to wait for that lucky battle. And after repeatedly bashing our heads against a proverbial brick wall, we eventually get the in we need on our 134th reset. We have been doing this for a very long time now. A lot of the resets are rapid fire because we're not getting past the first turn of Sandslash, And eventually it was like all of our Christmases came at once. We get the exact luck we need against Sandslash. It stays paralysed long enough for us to set up. We barely get tickled by the Alakazam. Alakazam gets caught in a healing loop and we knock it out. We get confused by the Ninetales once again. That's always going to happen. But we break through the confusion to one-shot it. We take it down in one and we hit Vaporeon for a huge amount of damage. We survive Hydro Pump and we finally knock it out. We grow to level 64 and we get our final time of 2 hours, 4 minutes and 31 seconds. And as we get our final placement, I want to take you back to what we said at the original Magcargo challenge. Strong Pokemon, weak Pokemon, that is only the selfish perception of people. Truly skilled trainers try to win with their favourites, and that is exactly what we have done. We might be very far down compared to Corsola and Ursaring, but we have done incredibly well together with our Magcargo. And Magcargo, you savour your time on the podium, it is well deserved. But with that, we are done. So I really hope you've enjoyed this one. If you have, make sure to leave a like. If you've got any feedback, leave it in the comments down below. Subscribe if you want to see more challenges just like this. And until next time, I'll say thank you all so much for watching. It's been an absolute pleasure, and I'll see you all very, very soon.